Welcome to Two Sisters, Two Mics, the Unapologetic podcast. I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Marie. And we're two very close sisters that live far apart.
We invite you to eavesdrop on our private chats and rages about everything. Life, mothers, relationships. It's all here.
Let's have a laugh.
Hi, nice chatting with you again, Marie.
How's it going, Rhonda?
Well, it's going. I told you previous that my microphone decided to dunk into my tea cup. It was just bizarre how that happened. Like I grabbed my cup and slowly, I just grabbed it briefly and brought it in front of my microphone, and I had just sat the microphone down and it dipped perfectly timed.
Like a donut?
To fall right into my teacup as I was bringing it in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that foamy part around the microphone is so absorbent. I think it absorbed all the tea and left the actual microphone alone.
Well, that was lucky. That's good.
Yeah.
So it was just a little dip.
Oh, yeah. Little dip.
A little dip to set you off.
Yeah. Not feeling any more chipper today than I did yesterday.
Well, that's because you're cleansing.
Yeah.
How long have you been cleansing now again?
This will be day 7.
Okay.
And I realized, so this has been the easiest for me in terms of the food, like the cravings. Like I'm just dull to it now. Like I'll just eat. Like I'm eating there's no pleasure. Like there has to be some pleasure when you're eating. You won't digest it. But it's not like I'm seeking out. I'm not trying to find pleasure. I'm not trying to find distraction in my food.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the first cleanse where I'm actually not seeking that outside source, but of pleasure,
mm-hmm.
distraction,
Mm-hmm.
comfort, excitement in food. And it's leaving me with this sense of it just feels kind of empty.
Mm-hmm.
It feels a bit dull. It feels boring. It feels kind of sad. It feels lame.
So give some background on why you're doing this and what you do.
So it's a cleanse that I do with my yoga teacher. It's Ayurvedic based. It's called Mitahara, which is only taking in what you need. So it's a discipline. At first, for me, it was like, I just want to feel good and I just want to have more energy. And yeah, I want to lose a bit of weight and feel light. And now but every time you do it and you do it twice a year, it changes. But I've been doing it for, I guess, 5 years now.
Well, you've been doing that one for 5 years. You've been doing other cleanses for years and years.
Well, I did the wild rose.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. You can have coffee on the wild rose and you can have meat.
Yeah. And you take supplements.
Yeah. But my teacher talks about, it's not even about, it is about giving your digestion a break.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that piece, it's that Mitahara is like a practice of discipline to only take what you need. Right? So I really understand that, always looking for more outside of just where you, it's we always want more. We're always trying to fill up.
Well,
something.
I think we're always trying to overcompensate for an emptiness in some area, right?
Well, then I feel that I'm kind of feeling that emptiness.
Yeah.
I actually physically feel empty. because I'm not filling my guts.
Do you think maybe feeling that emptiness is a good thing though, so that it wouldn't feel so uncomfortable?
It's such a good thing.
Yeah.
Like every time I do it, I start to understand what it is to feel less full of whatever I'm trying to fill myself up with.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been very and it was funny because I was walking Arrow this morning and he's such a like scavenger. And I was just thinking these thoughts about like how I feel so empty and I'm not filling myself up with whatever cravings I need to. And then I got Arrow into the back of the car and he's sniffing, always sniffing my hands, thinking, when I give him cheese, give him cheese. And I look at him, I'm like, do you always need something? And then I was like,
talking to the dog.
I might know, but then I'm like, I could turn that to myself, like always needing something. We're needing something to fill ourselves.
Yeah.
But he just reflected that back to me because he was like, I need something, like, what do you have? What do you have? What do you have? Do you have something in your hands?
Yeah.
I want it. But
yeah, you're more aware of it now because you're cleansing.
well, yeah, it was just that moment for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, anyways, it's, yeah. So those were some of the thoughts that I had this morning, like just feeling empty. And so then how long does that last, right? And then what do you start to fill yourself up with instead of food? I mean, you always need to eat, but we eat way too much as a culture. And we eat for not just our benefit, our well-being. We eat for that
to cope,
distraction. Yeah.
I'm guilty of that big time.
We all are.
Yeah.
It's ingrained. It's by design.
If it's not food though, it's something else. If it's not food, it's alcohol. If it's not alcohol, it's drugs. It's always, if it's not that, it's screens,
your phone. Yeah.
Or it's always something.
Or
fill up, distract, take away from your reality of how you're really feeling. Or I don't know. I think the question is why? Why?
Why?
And that, I think that's a rabbit hole.
Well, actually, that leads into something that I wanted to talk about, that Alunya is a channeler I listened to, and she was talking about intentional communities. And the why to me is because we've lost connection to why we're here, what we're doing, right? And she talked about like this, we live in this like pressure cooker of and it's all bound to time, and that we're on somebody else's time and making profit for somebody else, and it's this fucking rat race we're in. And it's this loop of pressure, right? And so we've lost touch with what matters. And so we are living with this deep exhaustion in our hearts. And I'm just reading from my notes because it's a lot. And so our hearts crave this harmony and balance, this giving and receiving, which is like a life force, like a generating life force of a giving and receiving energy. And we don't live like that. And we don't see any example of that. We don't see an example of that in our lives. So yeah, so we live to get that quick hit. That
quick satisfaction, immediate satisfaction.
Just to feel good, because we don't feel good. We don't have direction. I mean,
You say that we don't have that, we don't see that. I don't agree with that. I think we do have that right in front of us, but I feel like we are so distracted that we don't see it. I was talking with you the other day about how I've been noticing people being so nice and so kind and actually caring and really present with conversation. I think that has something to do with it.
Yeah. On a global scale, though, right? On a global scale,
Wouldn't
there's
that be global as well, though?
the people that are in charge, right? Aren't displaying, like, we're not seeing this like in our shows, in our
No, but
media.
that's what I'm trying to say is that if we were to slow down and be very present with each other, that very small percentage of the people who are in charge of social media and all of the global companies that we are rat racing and consuming and being a part of would slowly change if we were to individually be present with each other and not
Totally.
be so self-centered, really, or self-involved or everything self, but to actually be present with each other on a very consistent, if possible, and sincere way, then it would slow us down. It would make us maybe see what's really important, maybe not reach for all those things that distract us so much and just change things little by little. We have always said nothing changes in big steps, but only little steps. That's why I think when you said that we don't see it or we don't have it, I don't necessarily believe that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it starts with yourself first, for sure. And that self part is actually important. That self part, you have to be with yourself, I think, first in order to be able to know how to be present with others.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But I think when I said, well, this is the message that was said, that there's no example of living in harmony, maybe in that way yet, like in that communal way on a larger scale.
Mm-hmm. Not on a large scale, no.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah,
No.
we create first with our own inner world.
You know, I've been dealing with screen time and my teenager. And it's even brought up for me more awareness of how much I spend on the screen because I have to lead by example. And I actually don't spend a lot of time on screen. I really don't. And so with my oldest daughter, she is starting to realize, hopefully it will continue, who knows, that it is a huge addiction and a huge thing and a huge part of her world because she's surrounded by it at school. She's surrounded by it by her friends. And so I guess I bring this up right now because if we don't do that ourselves for our kids, how is it not going to change? So many parents won't speak up and be the tough love or put in any kind of regulation in the family or the house regarding screens. And then there's consequences to that. All the big billionaires of the world have something to do with social media and technology right now. And it will continue unless the little people don't make the change. And it starts with parenting. It starts with what we do ourselves on the daily. And it starts with actually speaking up and talking to other parents, talking to other people about it. No one really talks about it. It's more of a just a subject of, oh, it's just the way it is. And there's not very many people that do actually do anything about it. I spoke to other parents about it, and they're like, I just kind of trust that they're doing okay. I just trust that they're fine. And I was doing that too. And then I looked at her usage and it wasn't okay. She was spending just under 4 hours a day.
Where is she finding the time? Like where
During non-instructional school time, when she gets home after school, before school, when I'm not around. It's a pull, right?
And then it goes back to that living interconnected, where like if you're off doing something, who's around to help manage and support? Because if you can't be around all the time, it's not that they need to be watched all the time, I guess, but it just seems like this nuclear living.
It's true. If we were in a community, if we weren't in a community, living in a community instead of our one little house and our one little street where I don't really rarely talk to my neighbors, then there would be other people around. There would be other things to do. She would be out doing other things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But we don't live like that.
No, but we will. It's going to
like
change. It's going to change.
Yeah.
And it may even change in our lifetime. It may even change in our lifetime. Yeah. I'm sure using my notes right now because I find it comforting to have because I really like this topic that I brought up about intentional.
So what does that look like then?
It's a self-sustain. Oh my God.
Self-sustaining.
It's a sustaining loop. Which means that that these communities that we live in can sustain them within themselves. So the resources are created and sustained within the community. And then some communities have resources to share with other communities that are creating other resources. So
I just got a flash of back in the day when all the Indigenous had their tribes.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And then it went on to talk about, which I really wanted to chat with you like weeks ago about this, about the two qualities that need to be practiced or that can be practiced continually to create harmony. Because, when people live together, there's always these conflicts, right? That's why we haven't been able, that's why we live in our little homes away from our family.
That's right.
Right?
Because of the conflicts.
Because of the conflicts. Think about this summer and getting together. So
everyone has the same story about getting together with their families. Pretty much.
And so the two qualities, one was emotional resilience, and the second one was authentic expression.
Say that again.
Emotional resilience, which I'll go further into, and the other one was authentic expression.
Yes. Those are the two golden eggs that I strive for my kids.
Yeah.
Strive. If they can have those two things, I don't care if they have a university degree. I could care less.
Well, I know. Yeah, because you're going to just shine, right?
Yeah, no matter
regardless.
What you do.
And that's why there's a lot of sensitivity being felt right now because we're being trained, we're being invited to fill these triggers, right? So that we can and feel our distortions, like how our ego kind of wants to distort things, so that we can learn to navigate these two practice, these two qualities that will help us be able to maintain these communities that we can live in. So
otherwise it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. Well, and it hasn't, right?
Yeah.
So emotional resilience, and you'll totally be like, yeah. So you move through whatever you're feeling, like you let it move through you, right?
Yeah. You feel it.
You don't eat it.
You don't eat it.
You don't
ignore
eat chocolate. You feel it.
Yeah. You actually sit with it.
Yeah. You don't project what you're feeling. You don't project it onto somebody else.
Yeah.
You take ownership.
Isn't that called narcissism right now?
Oh yeah, I'm so tired of that.
That gets thrown out so much, and it's just, can we not label it? Can we just see what it is?
You're just labeling. You're just, if anything, if you start saying someone's a narcissist, chances are you're probably a narcissist too,
because you can see it in other people.
You're projecting. Your
projection.
Anyways.
Yeah, got it. So,
and then you let the feeling go. You don't blame another person for what you're feeling. Like you take ownership for it.
Yeah.
And that's part of that nonviolent communication, right? That you've been talking about.
I love nonviolent communication. That would create world peace right there.
And do you want to know, and it was so beautiful what the message said, the channel message said, if you want to know, you can learn so much from nature. And if you want to learn what it is about emotional resilience, you can ask the trees to teach you. Which is like a whole other like thought and topic. And then, so emotional, that's sort of like the basic of emotional resilience. And then the authentic expression is an individual recognizing what they are feeling, also what is wanting to be expressed, right? So you're just, I think so you're just, go ahead. No,
you go.
So I think that one is like, I think you learn to be connected to what you're really feeling, which you would think would be simple, but I don't think it really is for people. We're not taught how to really feel what we're feeling. We're not taught how to be able, like, look at our mom, right? Like to be able to express what's underneath that, maybe that anger, or what's, or why you're feeling how you're feeling. And then being able to express it, being able to honestly be vulnerable and say, I'm feeling this way because,
Well, that's because for generations you weren't supposed to. I'm reading Gone with the Wind right now. And in that time, everyone was putting on a pretty face and a pretty outfit and being very polite. And everyone was thinking completely exactly and feeling exactly the opposite of what they were showing to people. And not sharing their true thoughts or their true feelings during war and all of it, but just putting on a brave face and a smile instead of being authentic. And that's from generations. Mom didn't learn or wasn't allowed or didn't have the space given to her to feel what she was really feeling. And neither did we. And so I'm finding when I speak to some people about this, very rarely, but when I do, people are choosing to change that in their generational pattern. This is the time that people are changing it. That's why you're talking about it. That's why we're talking about it, because now's the time that that's going to change, but it's going to be so uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, even just me being candid to my boss at work saying like, this isn't what I want. Like, this doesn't feel right. To me, at first, it was like I almost physically didn't even know how to talk. I was like, I felt really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then I just was like, I just said, oh, I feel uncomfortable right now.
Yeah.
And then that kind of like helped move that through. And then I just was just purely like, this isn't what I want. I don't understand how I got here.
Yeah.
And I just was very vulnerable with where I was. And that
Hmm.
opened a dialogue between us. And she totally was, even has shared some things about her life and where she was.
That's the
And
essence of nonviolent communication,
yeah,
is bringing your feeling and what you're experiencing into conversation, because then it's a human quality that you're sharing with another human who can relate and will relate, because we all share the same human emotional qualities.
yeah,
And so there's no anger or surface crap that comes up in the conversation. It's actually true authenticity that we keep talking about.
yeah, that authentic expression. Choose what you want to feel your heart, be close and listen to your heart. That's what I wrote.
Yeah.
And then we feel more joy when I feel more joy when I can be myself around people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I value friendships where I am just myself. Nothing brings me more joy than being able to feel comfortable in my own skin and to be seen and heard and valued for that.
That's
Like
what
that,
every single human being wants.
yeah, and then, yeah, there was another analogy or story that was brought about nature showing us how we can be. Like animals and nature are so important right now for us, for messages and for solace. And the message was talking about emotional resilience, how a deer won't resent the wolf for eating one of their pack, which I thought was really powerful.
Whoa.
Like that's like if you look at it that in a certain perspective, I mean that is just you think, oh, the animal's just dumb, they don't understand. But I don't really think that that's the case.
Well, my initial thought was that's just the way it is.
Yeah, right? And it says they still don't choose to live with a wolf, but they choose to live with those who they share the same goal.
Yeah. To eat and live.
Yeah. You choose to live with those who understand you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of another thing that I wrote down, which I thought was really sad, but kind of interesting, was that, and I could relate, and I think you can relate, where there's people who live in countries, towns, neighborhoods, like where we don't share the same goal or vision in your heart as they do in, how can I just put this in my own words? When you feel isolated because you have a vision about how you want to live and how you can see how things could be, but you're surrounded by maybe a different vibration or density, it's such a lonely place to be.
You just described me.
Yeah.
And you probably, right?
And the thing is, it's like there's lots of people out there that probably feel the same, but it's not maybe the majority. I think the majority are caught up in watching the news and just survival mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is okay. It's not to say one person is better than the other. It's just levels of awareness and
different people. The wolf and the deer.
The wolf and the deer. Anyway, so that was like
very introspective for me.
The timeline on this, I was told in the next 5 to 10 years, the structures that are currently cracking, like it's done.
Yeah.
Like that we're talking in our lifetime. Like there'll be a state of like just no, like a disrepair, like no, there's no power left in the structures. And you can start to see the upheaval, right? I mean, not
Yeah.
that we watch the news. You just feel it. Like
I can
life
feel it.
feels weird right now.
Mhm.
Things like it's just, yeah, heightened.
Yeah. You can't get around it. It's every day, sometimes thicker than other days, but it's a continual cloud that's there. Not that it's dark, but it's always hovering.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I need to go, so I'm gonna say bye. Sorry to cut this short, but I have to
Why
get going.
why do you have to go? Rat race?
Yeah. Rat race.
All right. Love you. Talk to you
Okay.
later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, well, that's it. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Two Sisters, Two Mics, the Unapologetic podcast. It's been a blast.
Hoped you liked it. If not, that's all right. We'll be here again.